JMF, 1,000 foot-pound books, back at ya, continuing my campaign sandbox hex map creation, etc., using Sandbox Generator and Advanced Fantasy Referee Tome from Old School Essentials, and Sandbox Generator from uh, Sinclair Clandestin. So picking up where we left off, last time I had gone and sussed out all of the layer monsters in the layers, kind of picking and choosing, deciding which ones were monsterish and which ones were actually, NPCs that could be, have some kind of interaction with. Um, I also determined the faction areas for the castles, and we have one crazy guy up here who's the march, who's the whole thing. So all of it is within the march, which is great. So it means that if the PCs ever get to the stage where they want to build a domain, then they have someone they have to go get approval from, which is politics. It's great. Uh, well, standing back, I noticed that there's not much diversity in these tiles. That's from following that Hex Piper, and I found there's a YouTuber I like to watch called Hex Press, he's pretty awesome, and he has his own um, system that he's put out. It was free for a while. I think now it's under like $2 or something. It's cheap, but and his way, I think, generates a lot more natural looking terrain, a nice mix of terrain, and a good mix of stuff. So I hate to start over, and I'm not going to start over, but I am going to introduce a level of variety in here. Like, I just need to add more brown. It's just not enough of these plateaus, broken lands, barren lands, whatever they are, the plateaued lands. So I'm just going to go through real quick and add some more of those. I'm not going to do it on the places where we have monsters, because that'll have us redo the monsters. I'll just sprinkle it in all around. Alright, so I'm going to turn off some of these layers. Like, I'm going to turn off the factions, and I'm going to turn off the little tags, label things, so it's clear. Okay. And I'm just going to sprinkle it in where it looks good. Favorites. Once again, we are dealing with the UI. Okay. So place that doesn't have, like, that's boom, right there's a good spot. Boom, right there's a good spot. Boom, right there's a good spot. Doom. Just something to sprinkle it in. How about right there? Maybe have a couple of connected like that. Something like this. Boo. Just something to have a little variety, Yeah. How's that? That looks good to me. So just a little variety. That's it. Alright, the next thing I want to do is, now that we have all of the villages and settlements in here, I want to add a road. And I was thinking that... Let me bring up the big map. Campaign hex map. This is it. Old bars. Alright, so we're like here. So there's going to be some kind of, south, east to northwest road that maybe kind of branches up and goes through. Oh, it goes around here. So we're going to have like a Y through this hex. There's going to be one road that goes this way, maybe even goes a little bit west, and one that goes up. So we'll have little roads, but we'll have a major roads that continue off those way in the hex. How about that? So here is the, whoops, Control Z, okay. Right, can I remember? Alright, so we get out of terrain, shapes, select U. Now, something I learned doing this was that instead of doing curves, which are a pain in the ass, Ask me anything, operator. I'm going to just do, lines with lots of little points and then fake a curve. Straight line the curve. That's so much simpler than dealing with the damn curves. And roads would run straight. It's kind of weird. So I think on flat terrain, roads should run straight. And on hilly terrain, they should kind of zigzag, back and forth so they don't have steep grades, kind of like a switchbacks. But it's the opposite for rivers. On hilly ground, rivers run straight because gravity's forcing them down and they just kind of cut through the earth, creating the valley for themselves. And on flat ground, they kind of zigzag back and forth with the oxbow lake formations, So I really should keep that in mind whenever I'm doing rivers and stuff. Rivers flow straight through the mountains and will zigzag on flatter grain. Roads cut straight through the ground and zigzag on the mountains. So I will try to keep that in mind. This guy is curvy, so I'm just going to delete this guy. What are your parameters? If I just start drawing a line, will it be the same as you? Yes, okay. So, alright. So as I say, flat ground, and probably it should hit, but it will avoid things. The roads will avoid deserts, they'll avoid mountains, they'll avoid, So this road would probably avoid the jungles as much as possible. So, do, 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 do. I have to make a decision about where the main road's going to go. Is this going to be the main road this way? Yeah. And I'll come in and join one going that way. Do, 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 do. Yes. All right, that's one road. We're going to have another road that kind of winds itself this way out, kind of west. I don't want it to go... I hear settlements over here. Maybe it will go... maybe there's like a known way through the desert. Alright. Desert Highway. Is that a song? Desert Highway. Alright. Yeah, like that. There we go. Let me do these, since these are going to be like the major roads. Let me take these guys and bump up their width. About 4. I like that. Okay. 4. Yes. Now, let's take this back down to 2, and 2 will be lesser roads that connect to the other areas. So let's say we've got a road that skirts through here. Comes, let's just put him to here. Alright, and then select this guy. Control drag to move points. Yeah, let's move these points kind of like this out of this desert. Oh yeah, and any of these roads that pass through a hex with a layer, great adventure fodder. Caravans are being attacked on the way to the old jungle abbey. We need heroes to help guide the caravans. And you know what? This road should probably Connect back up. Yeah. Boom, boom. Offer a different way for people to go. Some things will just be unconnected. Uh, some things will just be unconnected, unfortunately. This could be some kind of jungle shrine that doesn't... Nah, I don't know. There's got to be some way to get there, right? Or there's going to be ruins, and landmarks will have ruins, I think. Uh, so... We'll see. I'll make a decision about that. Okay, this guy's coming in here. Through the swamp a bit. Boom. Okay. Anybody else need connecting? Let's see. How's that? Let's see. Anybody else? We have this church down here. We'll go ahead and put the church on the line. Boom. Okay. Nice. Nice. All right. Did a major river come through here? Let me save it real quick. How does that look? Does that look all right? We have a guy way over here. Guess we can just connect him like that. Have you ever heard the phrase "jakang"? Jakang the dungeon kind of refers to creating loops within the jungle, within the dungeon, to create multiple directions. So it's probably a good idea to do that in the wilderness as well. Would make sense, right? There's always a million roads connecting someplace. I don't like how this guy comes back in. That's not very interesting. We'll have him come this way. Maybe there's something to avoid here. So that's why it comes in this way. Yeah, we'll have this guy join up at this church. There we go. This looks a little weird. Why is it such an angle? That doesn't look very natural. Alt-delete is shift-click. Okay, delete. Shift-click, delete. This is, once again, moving the mouse while clicking a point causes it to freak out. It's completely my fault. Don't worry. This also kind of gives it like a Skyrim-y feel where you're like walking down the trail and there's like another path leading off, you know? That part is very cool about it. Skyrim is a fun game, and that part's one of the reasons it's a fun game. Alt-click, add a point. Okay. Okay, control. There we go. Boom. Yep, there we go. All right. Oops. Why you do that? There we go. Okay. Select. All right. Oh, there's castles up here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and add these to them as well. So this is what I was saying. Maybe this should be like, you know, something like this. And then you have, you know, lots of switchbacks. Lots of boom. And then where do you gotta go? Maybe you can come back to the main road. You know, that's when I click the mouse. When I actually hit the mouse button, I shake the mouse. All right. And maybe another branch. I mean, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong with that idea, right? Can't have too many branches, I don't think. Still plenty of mystery out there. I'm not sure exactly what the players will see. The Matt Dowell, not Matt Dowell, what is his name? Into the Odd. Man, I got into old school D&D. I played I played second edition back in the 90s with my brother and friends. And then in the early 2000s, I got back into it with a couple other friends. And then back in maybe the mid 2000s to late 2000 aughts, like 2004 to 2009 or something like that, is when the whole old school renaissance took off. We had a whole bunch of clones. I think that was that time period. We also had this service called Google Plus. It was great for the gaming scene, but then Google shut it down. Anyway, Into the Odd by Chris McDowell. Chris McDowell wrote Into the Odd and published it at that time. Anyway, you know, he's like, his philosophy is show the players everything. Let the players see the mystery, see the world, so they can, you know, be filled with the desire to learn about everything that they will put into their characters to explore the world, to get the players interested in the world, to get their characters to act actively in the world. Anyway, I'm just name dropping here. Okay, so we got the roads. Let's look at this. There's no major river through here. That's right, I decided there's no major river through here, so there's just tributaries and whatnot, and tributaries might be too small to show on a 2 to 3 mile hex. Roads are not, because they need to know where the roads are so they know where to go, but there's no major river. We can assume that there's water, you know, fairly frequently, I guess, in the green, especially in the swampy areas. There's going to be some kind of water. And towns are usually have some kind of water source, well or stream or something. So if they're in a green hex, then water is nearby. We can just say that. If they're in a desert or rocky hills hex, then it's a different story. Okay, done. Next phase. Next phase. Let me turn on the hex borders so we can kind of deal with not that hexes at one at a time. So we'll start with hex A. All right, I don't know what happens first. If we deal with the landmarks and the towns or the settlements first, the dungeons. So I'm just going to go here and just go in order. Whatever they say happens, happens. So if it's the landmarks first, I'll do that. If it's the cities, then we'll deal with that. When we get to doing with the cities, I have to bring up the campaign folder document. All right. We got features. We got landmark, settlement, or dungeon. For settlements, we've already determined what they are. Hamlet, village, castle, tower, wizard's tower, or abbey. So we've got factions. Okay. Right. Relationships. For each pair, I think that I had a different... I had come up with something different. And it's in the table. Haha, here we go. This is what I want. Let me unflatten this document real quick. Unflatten. Okay, and I want you to move up to the first mention of... Oh, too high. There we go. Okay, Control V. Can I make you smaller? Control A. I just don't know. This looks funny. Okay. Let's see. Let me make you 9. There you go. You can be 10. Okay. Does that help? A little bit. Alright, in that case, let me make you 8. Okay, that's better. Alright. Document. Flatten. Alright. So neighboring monster layers. 2d6. Okay, this is going to equal to this guy plus this guy. Right? So we're looking right here. Alright. Let me turn on factions. I will start right here. Okay, you. Whoops. Let me go to features. Okay, you. Oh, let me turn on this. Boom. Alright. Alright, so for non-touching monster layers, there's no relationship, don't roll. For touching monster layers, roll 2d6. 2 to 4 working together, 10 to 12 open war, 5 to 9 no interaction. Alright, so these two right here. What do we got? We got 8. No interaction. Okay. How about from these two? Okay. So we already get this guy. Let's come down here. Alright, these two. 7. No interaction. Okay. And then finally these two. 7. Okay. So no interaction between any of these guys. Now let's go in here. This is the next hex, right? Alright, so these two guys roll. 7, no interaction. Is it working right? Yeah, okay. No other monster factions in here. Okay, this hex. No interaction. Okay, already rolled for these guys. Okay, right here, these two guys. Yeah, these two guys. Okay, here you go, get roll. 7. Oh, and okay, now these two monsters pair. 3. No, sorry, 7. Okay. All right, and then these two. 6. Nope. 5 to 9. No interaction. Okay. On to this hex. All right. We got several combinations here. We got a whole bunch of them. Okay. Starting with this guy. Right here. 12. Open war. Okay, so. Who are you? Hidden refuge from nomad. Okay, this is the nomad layer. So. At open war with hex. Hold on. Save. Let me. I know this is going to look bad. Hex numbers. Okay, E1. All right. This is going to be annoying. let me do something real quick. Let me... Oh, I can't. I'm recording. Okay. Alright. Well, we'll just... It is south. We'll just... southwest, right? Duh. Easy. Okay. What is that guy? Open war with hyenas and southwest hex. Okay, at open war with hyenas in southwest hex. Why? Hyenas have raided their nursery. The nursery tent and taken babies. Okay. Save. Alright. So that was this relationship. Let's go south. Okay. 7. Nope. Okay. Now for this guy, his relationship, or this layer's relationship with the hyenas. Let's see. What is it anyway? It is pyramid with mummies. I don't think mummies can actually do anything. So let's just see what gets rolled. Hyenas and mummies won't really work together because mummies are unthinking, hyenas are unthinking. Okay. So what's this guy? A lion drake close. Okay. Let me see what the lion drake and the mummies have any relationship. 6. Nope. Alright. And finally the hyenas and these guys. That's the dragon, right? Rakshasas. Rakshasas, the tiger people? Okay, let's see. Do they have a relationship with the hyenas? Nope. Indifferent. Okay. Okay. So all those have been worked out. On to this hex. I've already done this one during this roll, so let's do these two. Okay, what do we got? 11. That'll be open war. What are they? We got... I don't know what archdevil means. That's just random. Driver ant. Diver ant? Okay, what's this one? Pseudo dragon. Let me just do this real quick. At open war with nomads in northeast hex. It's not a thought out war, but the nomads have tasty morsels. Oh, so sad. Save. Okay. Alright, so we've got ants. Driver ants or diver ants? Okay. Let me... That can't be right. Driver ants? Yeah, driver ants. Okay. Consume everything in their path. Attack relentlessly. Once they are engaged in melee, will even pursue through flames. Long, omnivorous, black ants. So is it war or a similar situation to the... Okay, I know what it is. Ants. I got it. Alright, so driver ant colony. Oh no. Okay. Pseudo dragon's lair and surroundings. Pseudo dragon's lair's surroundings have been invaded by the driver ants from hex to the northeast as they are looking to expand their colony. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's just an interesting thing that somehow we can take advantage. The players can take advantage of. Okay. Driver ants have started expanding southwest and encroaching on the pseudo dragon's lair. Okay. Save. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Did I save this one? Yes. Save. Okay. Cool. Okay, so that hex is done. Now for this hex, last hex. Alright, we've got here, 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 and here. Alright, so let's start with these two. 9. What was 9? Oh, let me go back. Indifferent. Okay, so what are these two are? They don't. Okay, so we know these two have a relationship because one's the treants and one's the thing. And then what did I say about this guy? Long lost have halflings, but they have lost their wands. Wards. What? Oh, this is the treants. No, this is the halflings. Wait, the wards are the treants. Okay. So let's see if these two have any type of relationship. This is a wraith. Oh my gosh. I don't think there's... The wraiths are just... We attack all living things that come through our land. So there's no way they could have any kind of working together or having a thing. So let's not really roll for any of that. Alright. All done. Done with this. Okay. I guess... you know what I want to do? So we've got these relationships taken care of. What I want to do now is actually start putting in the landmark details, because that, I think, will help drive the story and rumors and objectives, perhaps, of people in the towns. So let me do that. Once again, I'm changing my plan. Alright. Let me scroll. Scroll. We'll do relationships later. Scroll. Landmarks. Here we go. Landmark is a notable feature which may be used during travel for orientation. It can be anything ranging from a meeting point, a dangerous place, an obstacle encountered when traveling, or a small adventuring locale. Yeah. The following pages list natural, artificial, and magical landmarks, which are themselves divided into various categories. It is obviously encouraged to replace or mix the landmarks provided in this book with your own. So here's what I'm going to do. As I roll a landmark, I will try to just cross it out and replace it with something new. That way you can never get the same landmark twice. Maybe it'll be a riff on what was already in the table. So there's 2 steps to it. First, you got to determine the type. Right? Then you determine the type. Then, after you determine what's there, you come back and see if it's going to have... This is your classic dungeon stocking table here, where it's, there's some kind of trap, empty, and empty doesn't mean empty, it just means not the other 3, a monster or a special. And then it's got, some chance of treasure. After generating the nature of all the landmarks, use the following table to determine what can be found at location. So I guess we'll go through and do it one at a time. That way it's, we'll do each thing quickly. All right. And then, like I said, I'm using these obelisks to represent landmarks. I know in the very first episode I said I would not do that, and I just did it to provide a visual reference on what's already been done. They may or may not stay. I know. Okay. Select. Alright, so we're going to start with this guy. And that's a D6, so looking right here. Alright, here we go. 5. Artificial. Okay. Landmark. 3. You know what's a landmark? Landmark. We're going to leave the title blank. We'll just do it here. We got artificial. Okay, save. Okay, next one. So, oh, hold on. I did it wrong. This is center hex. Start here, go around. Okay, do here. Do this good in order. 6. Magic. Nice. Love it. Okay. Magic. Save. Okay, next one in the swamp. Alright, so keep in mind, my plan was to have all the landmarks and swamps to be somehow connected. I'll keep that in mind. 3. Natural. Okay. Okay, I don't know. We'll see. This guy. 2. Natural. Save. Okay. I saved this guy, right? Close. Okay, so now we did that guy. Okay, roll. 6. Magical. Magic. Save. Alright. And this guy. Natural. Okay. This guy. Natural. Alright. This guy. Magic. Okay. Magic. Save. Okay. Let me take a step back. Is there any reason... Is there any... I don't see any castles that... I was thinking maybe I should not connect everything, but it doesn't seem to be a big deal. Okay. Oh, you know what? Shapes. Okay. There we go. Kind of realized that guy wasn't connected. Alright. Save. Okay. So we have a determination for all these. So now, alright, so this guy, I need to change this. So let me, wrong thing. Not shapes, features. I need to change the color. So this guy is natural. So we'll change it to green. How's that? Save. I can barely see it. Let me change it again. It's a little too... How about we'll do 3 up? Save. Okay. Is that better? A little bit better. Let me try it again. Let's go to... we'll just do this 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we'll do that. Save. Okay. This guy is magic. Magic will do purple. 1, 2, 3, 4. Save. Okay, this guy is natural, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Save. Okay, this guy is natural. 1, 2, 3, 4. Save. Okay, what about you? Magic. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Save. Okay, what about you? Magic. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Save. Okay, you. Natural. 1, 2, 3, 4. Save. You. Natural. 2, 3, 4. I didn't get any artificial here. Did I do it right? Alright. Okay, so we've got natural, magic, natural, magic, magic, natural, natural. Okay, so let's go to the natural landmarks. So we do a D6 and a D10. Alright, so let me come down here to D10. Alright, so here we go. Natural. Okay, So 5 and a 3. Rock hole. Do we have a description for these? Control F. I don't know. Rock hole. Did I, what? Can't find it. What did I, what is it? Content hazard, magic, okay. Yeah. Rock hole. And yet you can't find it. Interesting. Okay. Never mind. Okay. A rock hole. Interesting. Oh, well, it fits because it's up here, right? Okay. What? Am I an idiot? It's artificial. Artificial, we'll do orange. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dummy! Dummy. Okay. So this guy, hold on. You're natural. You will be the rock hole. I don't know. Save. Okay. Now you are natural also. Yes. So let's roll it in bones. 2 and 10. A giant flower. Interesting. Natural. Giant flower. Holds medicinal or magical effects from pollen or seeds, etc. Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Save. Okay, you're natural. I'll go to you. 2 and 5. A dead tree. Natural. Eerie dead tree. Okay. Save. Okay, right here. 3 and 4. Mushroom circle. Don't stand in those. Mushroom circle. Okay. Save. Alright, so I'll combine these with the the next step and create a nice little write-up for them. Okay, so now let's jump over here to this artificial dude. Okay, come down, artificial. Alright, same thing. D6, D10. 4, 7. An outhouse. Outhouse, the only standing structure amid burnt ruins of a cabin. Okay. That's the only thing. Oh, I was supposed to go. Aha! Alright, let's go back up. So I had rock hole, right? So let me do rock hole. We had rock needle. How about rock pile? Okay, let me do a little bit of change in here. Let's put it in the center. In the center. That can be to the left. No margin. Okay. And fill color will be white. Okay. Good. Okay, so we had rock hole. You're the new number 3. Okay, then we had let's see, we had a giant flower. What about a have flower circle. How about huge vines? Okay. Yeah, huge vines. Okay, and we also had, what else do we have? Oh, mushroom circle. Control C, Control V. How about, oh, who had the mushroom circle? Oh, this is it. Mushroom circles in every swamp? Yes. Each circle's mushrooms are the same, but different between swamp hexes. Combine all mushrooms to make some cool concoction. Some amazing concoction. Oh yeah, so they gotta go explore swamps and find mushroom circles. Interesting. Alright. And so I had outhouse, right? So let's see. Control C. So we're going to strike this one off. We know what we're doing for the other ones. So, let's see. So giant. It wasn't giant mushrooms, it was a mushroom circle. So instead of a mushroom circle, we'll say fungi takeover. That's being as that mycelial proliferation. How about a spore fog? Constant spore fog. Can't spell. Can't use backspace. Here we go. Constant spore fog. Okay. Alright. We know what, from now on, we know what the swamp's going to be. Okay. Constant spore fog. And then down here I had outhouse. Instead of outhouse, let's have chimney. Oh, ruin. Raised village, pile of rubble, overgrown tower. Okay, we'll say a small structure. Well, so not an outhouse. We'll replace outhouse, small structure with shrine. Okay. Okay. Next, magic. Okay, here we go. Get on to magical. Control C. Okay. Whoops. What did I do? Okay. All right. Control V. Shrine. Okay. All right. Here we go. Zoom out a little bit. Okay. Here we go. 3 and 6. Magic path. A magic mirror. Interesting. Magic. Magic mirror. Capitalize the second word. Okay, interesting. Alright, how about right here? A row. 2 and 10. 2 is a witch. A witch's cauldron. Desert witch's cauldron. Magic witch cauldron. Witch cauldron. Built into the ground to a rocky, to a protruding rock in the ground. Protruding rock from the ground, from beneath the sands, built into the side, built into the top of a protruding rock from beneath the sands. There we go. Save. Okay. This guy, who in the swamp? No, this is jungle. Jungle. Here we go. Oh, so the first one was... What was the first one? Magic mirror. Okay. I like the magic mirror, because if we get it again, they could be connections. Okay, so I won't take that one away. Witch's Cauldron. Perhaps this could be a vision pool, sword stuck in the rock. This is enchanted items. Okay. How about a blessing granting statue? Blessing granting statue. Alright. A little bit of Skyrim for you. Alright. And then the other one was just those two so far. Right, you were the magic mirror. Stop. You were the witch cauldron. And you are nothing yet. Okay. Roll. We got 2 and 7. Stone of knowledge. Stone of knowledge about the history of this area. Okay. You know, like I said, I don't know. If something comes to me, I write it down. If something doesn't come to me, I don't write it down. I will let the next step kind of decide. Okay, close. Save. Alright. Save it here. Well, it's been almost an hour. What did we do? Added the roads. Well, I kind of added a little bit of diversity here with some more of the highland plateau, broken plateaus. I added the roads. I sussed out all the relationships between neighboring layers, and we determined the nature of the landmarks in this first hex. So the next step is going to be going to the next phase, which is determining if there's monsters or hazards here and if there's treasure. Then I will work on this town after that. Right, and they're under the spell of this guy. I remember now. Turn on factions again. Yep. So this town and Wizard's Tower. This town is directly under the control of the Wizard's Tower, and this Wizard's Tower may or may not have. So I'll work out the relationships between the different settlements. That's what I'll do next. Okay. Well, first I will determine if there's monsters or stuff at these hazards at these landmarks. Then we'll work on the settlements and their relationships and kind of draw out the town, which is really cool. Which is also included in the Sandbox Generator, is drawing these towns, which is awesome. And then I'll work on the layers and then the dungeons. And we'll completely knock out the center hex. Yes. And that'd be great for play. And then I'll call this done. I'm not going to do the rest of it. If this actually is used in play, as the curiosity of the players increases, then I will expand out the rest of this hex. Okay, thanks for sticking with me. This is JMF. I sell KDP books through Amazon KDP on young learners, science, and math through math workbooks and science vocabulary type word games and math. Please see the link in the description for my author page where you can find all my books. I also have a homework tracker planner, which is great. My son uses it and he loves it. It's very helpful. Uh, that's great. You got a bunch of different colors for that. Anyway, check out the link. Check it out. Give me a like, subscribe, all that stuff. You know what to do. Thanks for playing with me or sticking with me. See you next time. Love ya.